I do see a lot of videos on YouTube saying these are the only 5 shoes that you need. And while I actually do agree with that to a large extent, I think the big caveat there is there's a lot of trial and error when you're actually searching for your perfect 5 pair of shoes wardrobe, because something that works for someone else, obviously, you know, we've said it a million times, it's not going to work for us in the same way. And the thing about shoes is that you kind of have to wear them a few times in a few different scenarios all day long if needs be to actually even figure out if they are the right pair of shoes for you. Hello, we're in my wardrobe today in my bedroom. I'm not dressed yet, obviously wearing my dressing gown because I want to talk all about shoes. I thought we could get dressed together, make a few outfits together, and I'll talk you through all of the shoes that I have and don't have in my wardrobe, what I would recommend for summer, and like just get some kind of thoughts flowing. I do have 2 pairs of shoes to unbox for you. One I bought and one was kindly gifted to me by Nizzolo. We'll get into those a little bit later on, but I thought we'll start fancy and kind of work our way back down to casual. So let me grab my fancy shoes and we'll get dressed. These are my 1 fancy pair of shoes that I have from Vivaya. You're probably sick of seeing them if you've been around my channel for any length of time. But they are just a classic nude slingback, elongated almondy point. It's not too accentuated where you feel like Cruella de Vil pointy, but it's not too kind of roundy, which makes it feel a little bit more casual somehow. They are fairly comfortable. They have a little bit of cushioning and padding in here. I'm not someone who wears heels all the time, so they're about as comfortable as a pair of heels can kind of be, but I wouldn't say that I would like walk around and do 10,000 steps and like do hours and hours in these and be so comfortable. Like, no, that's not the case. But they definitely are a relatively comfortable, cushioned, supportive, a classic shape. It's not trendy, it's not going to go out of style for the next 15 years or so. This is my ride or die pair of fancy shoes. Let's move on to more casual vibes. The only other pair of heels that I own are this pair of Castanier. They're like fluffy and dusty because it's literally winter. I haven't been wearing them. I actually got these recently secondhand because I never learn. And every time that I buy a pair of shoes secondhand, I regret it. And I just literally, I never learn. So anyway, I do love these though. They're navy and they're the low heel. And let me just try them on with something so that we can get a better glimpse. Okay, I think you can see them a little bit better. And obviously we can't see the ties because they're underneath the jeans. But I think they actually look really nice with a pair of light wash denim with the little heel and the little ties kind of popping out at the back. I really like the look of them, but unfortunately the pair that I got they're just worn. Like the kind of insole is peeling up off this heel and like the inside on the toes is kind of like somehow peeling away on the inside there, and it's just so overstimulating. Sorry, I know my head's cut off, but it's really hard to keep all of myself in shot right now. I know these were so trendy a few years ago, but personally I feel like they're such a timeless style. I love these, and I kind of am in the band camp of bring back Castaniers, bring back espadrilles in general. I really like the ties. I find them very feminine, very beautiful, even though I have short legs. Like I have petite legs, but I don't mind. I've always really loved kind of that tie going up the leg, the kind of gladiator vibe. I don't think it works as well with flat sandals. I think it looks nicer when you have a little bit of the elevation. These are only like quite a small heel, and you can see obviously a little bit of a platform in the front, so not too bad. That you can walk in these really, really easily. I feel like the material on the front does kind of conform to your feet, so again, like it's kind of the same shape as the person's feet who was wearing these before. And like I definitely have regrets as far as buying these secondhand, even though they were a really good deal. I think for me, I might even end up on selling these and getting a new pair for me and like just save up for them. These for me are kind of the step down from the fancy shoes, because even though I would wear these to certain events and certain fancy things, and I think you can dress them up and they go nicely, I also think they just look equally as nice with a pair of like light wash denim. They look nice like on the daily. I wouldn't feel crazy overdressed going to drop my kids off at school or something like that in the summer, but equally I can wear them to a brunch, I can wear them to a barbecue, I can wear them on some sort of social gathering or occasion. And so these are kind of that really nice middle ground layer for me, where I don't feel like I definitely would not be wearing my fancy shoes to some of my kind of social friendship gatherings. I would just feel overdressed. Whereas these, they feel fancy, but not too fancy. All right, let's bust out our newbies, okay? I'm gonna start with the sandals that I got from Nizzolo, because they actually are slightly the wrong size for me. I'm so disappointed that I decided to order the wrong size, but the pair of shoes themselves are gorgeous. I went with this lovely pink colorway. They're actually very similar to the espadrilles, but just a flat version. I believe the style of these shoes is called huaraches. I'm not 100% sure because I never took Spanish. I took French. Anyway, this pair of shoes is so gorgeous, so delicious. The leather is amazing. The craftsmanship is amazing. They're so comfy in the footbed, but I just got a size that was too big for me. I will try them on and show you, but I should have definitely went with my true size. I was really alarmed because I checked their sizing on the website and the width of my foot was like 5 sizes bigger than the length of my foot or something. So I was really confused as to what shoe size to buy. I have really wide feet. Oh, actually they're fitting not bad now that I have them on. Anyway, I went with this size, and I think I should have gone with my true size because there is a little bit of like space in the heel. They kind of come off when I'm walking. Okay, so hopefully you can see a little bit better now. I'll just hold on to my wall for dear life. I really like, again, this nude color because it tends to sort of just meld with the whole outfit. I don't feel too color blocked. I don't feel too chopped off at my feet. These are so comfortable. I actually feel like I might be able to get away with these if I put in some heel grips or something. This is so comfy, so summery. This is making me long for summer days, being at the beach, drinking my margaritas. Oh, the best. So nice. Got this piece in the Alex Mill sale. New favorite brand for me. I'm very impressed by their quality, and I definitely will be shopping from them again. But how cute is this? So comfy, so effortless. And I am really stoked how well these are fitting my feet. I kind of have the impression like they might stretch out a bit over time. So I still would recommend going with your true shoe size for these, especially if you have narrow or like a regular width foot. So I haven't even worn these out of the house yet, so I can't say for sure that these are going to be a ride or die pair of shoe, but I do think the style is very beautiful. The craftsmanship is very beautiful. They are incredibly comfortable, and I will report back to you as far as do they stretch out and should I have gone, you know, with a size down for my foot size and all of that kind of thing. That's really pepped me up. Okay, next pair of shoes that I have to show you is from Anonymous Copenhagen. I have to say that I was influenced by Katie Louise. I have seen them on her channel, but I was going back and forward for like the last year on what color I wanted. And in the end, I thought, why don't I get this color, which is kind of the perfect go-between that will work in spring, summer and autumn, because it's the same kind of brown that I can imagine wearing with, say for example, like my warm suede animal print kind of handbag in wintry, autumny kind of transition seasons. But I can also imagine wearing it with like, you know, light blue denim in summer. I think it goes perfectly. So it's one of those kind of chameleon colors. And when I saw that this particular shade was on sale in my size, it was a no-brainer. I just had to try them, okay? Let's try them on. I hope you guys don't mind that this is a little bit more of a chatty style video because, again, like I said, I could sit here and be like, here's the top 5 shoes that you need and just be very kind of clean cut and very listicle vibes about it. But the thing is, again, that like these are shoes that work for me in some capacity, and I don't feel comfortable and confident telling you the best 5 shoes that you should have, because I can only give my recommendations based obviously on my lifestyle, on my needs. How stinking cute are these? And kind of give you the thoughts and the tools that I have when it comes to shoe shopping, what I look for, what to avoid, what's a good purchase versus like these are the be all end all like shoes that you need. Sorry, I know it's dark, but hopefully you can see it a little bit. I thought I would try on a little bit of a fancier dress. This one is from Rouge, and just to show that these shoes, again, they have that kind of chameleon effect where they can go really nicely just kind of as a casual run around shoe, but you could also see yourself wearing them to an event or something. There's something about that kind of open toe and kind of the way that it kind of lengthens the foot and lengthens the leg that makes it feel like a very fancy kind of shoe. It makes it feel like it could be heeled, but it's not. It's like flat and very comfortable to wear when you turn to the side. I also like that it shows off my tattoo actually on my foot. I do like that. I really like the fact that you can adjust the fit with the holes here, because like I mentioned, when you have wider feet on a shorter foot, it can be a little bit tricky because the wider the shoe, the longer the shoe bed typically. So then if I can find ones that actually fit my feet and have a little bit of leeway here to adjust the fit, it's so much more perfect than a shoe that's made as all one piece, because obviously then if it's perfect in the width you can't adjust the length, but you can a little bit if there's one of these kind of slingbacks. I think that's why I tend to like this kind of style so much. I was a little bit concerned whenever I saw the bottom of the shoe because it looks like it's less kind of rubbery and grippy than say my camper sandals would be, because these bad boys don't slip, you know, but these ones, they have a tiny bit of slip when you're on wet ground. So don't recommend these if you are walking somewhere wet. You could get them resoled, but there's a little bit of slip to them, just the tiniest bit. I've always been very, very drawn to the shape of these shoes, and they're so beautiful in person as well as online. So I'm really, really happy with this purchase. These shoes, on the other hand, I have had for a while. These are my camper sandals that I literally bought on a whim, like immediately. The second that I saw them, I was like, I have to have these, because they are a dead ringer for a pair of strappy silver sandals that I had when I was like 9 or 10, you know. That pair was just so nostalgic to me, and I wore it all the time, and I wore it until it didn't even fit me anymore. And I feel like that's like my first big grieving process, was leaving this pair of shoes behind. They were my first true love. I was so sad when they didn't fit me anymore. But on the other hand, I was so happy when I found the adult version, and I'm so obsessed with them, and I wear these very often. The only downside that I have with these pair of shoes is how long it takes to put them on. Like you generally have to open the buckles to put them on. I have kind of like shoved my foot in there and kind of like slung the strap over my heel, but it doesn't work every time. So if I'm in a rush, I don't go for these shoes, but if I'm actually just taking my time, I love to wear these. They're very comfortable to walk in, they're comfortable to drive in. They kind of have a little bit of like they have a little bit of an old lady vibe to them, I know, because they kind of look a little bit like, I don't know, you know when you're like hiking in the Grand Canyon or something and you see people with really fancy like Japanese strappy kind of Velcro sandals, they kind of give that kind of vibe, but I still really like them. I just can't help myself. I think they're really, really sweet, and I do wear these very often as well. They do have the silver, so they're kind of cute for a little bit of a dressy up event. I do have Christmas and New Year's Eve in summer where I live, so it's kind of perfect if I want that kind of Christmassy New Year's Eve vibe, but still a little bit casual, because they're flat and they're sandally and they're, you know, they're a little bit casual but a little bit dressed up. So again, we're kind of working our way down the sliding scale here, from like the uber fancy to the dressed up casual to the like, you know, we're drifting our way towards the very, very casual shoes. I think I'm gonna have fun creating a whole kind of shop my page for all of these pairs of shoes, obviously the ones that I have, but also other pairs that you could try in these same categories, because shoes, I just feel like shoes are so tricky. When we're shopping for an event, for example, it's very easy because we know the dress code, but when we're shopping for shoes for every day, there's no dress code, and we kind of have to choose things that are appropriate to different settings, that are going to be comfortable, that you can walk in. There's so much different needs that you can have of your shoes, I just feel like it makes them the most tricky part of your wardrobe. And as well, they're the biggest investment because they tend to be more spendier items than, say, you know, a blouse or a pair of jeans often. I would say probably the only other two shoes that I wear reliably in summer, other than my Birkenstocks, are this pair of boat shoes and this pair of Mary Janes. Again, these are from Vivaya and these are Sperry's. I'll put on these first because I probably wouldn't wear a dark pair of shoes with this light of an outfit, and because we kind of have that like classic pair of tailored kind of chino shorts, I think they would go really nicely with the boat shoes. This is something that I would probably wear on like a run around day. These are like really easy shoes to just chuck on if I'm thinking, okay, I need to like get out the door like right now, but I still want to feel a little bit kind of like dressed up or put together, or like I thought something through. I know this isn't everybody's look, this isn't everybody's kind of cup of tea. It's not necessarily like my favorite kind of look, but if I'm being really casual and really honest about what I'm wearing on a kind of a run around day, this would probably be something very close to it. Either like some sort of, because I can tie this up obviously, or I can leave it out loose, or I can, you know, tuck one bit of it in or something like that. Again, this one's from Again, this shirt is from Alex Mill, easy breezy, and I cannot wait to wear it in the warmer weather. But the shoes, I mean, I was gonna say like they don't do too much for my legs, but like not much can do much for my legs, to be honest with you. So I don't mind. I think they look nice and dressy. I do wear them with socks sometimes. Should we try them with socks? My preference is for kind of a beige or a brown as opposed to a white, because I think the white is a little bit too preppy, a little bit too stark. Oh my god, I look like I'm like taking children on a camping trip or something. This is horrendous. I feel like I need some sort of like camp leader badge. Maybe this can be a Halloween outfit, okay? Okay, this is a little bit more like it, but again, like it's more on the twee side for me. I don't know if I would do, I feel like I've definitely worn these with socks before. I don't know why I'm not liking it today. To be honest, I have seen pairs of boat shoes that are in that lovely darker chocolate brown, and I kind of wonder whether I might like those a little bit more. They kind of give a different vibe. I wouldn't say necessarily for my wide fit girlies. I take a size down in these because they're perfect for the length, but again, the width, even though they kind of stretch and mold to your feet over time, I do have very wide feet, and I still, every time I take off these shoes, my toes still go like, oh yeah, and get like a breath of fresh air, you know? They feel like, woohoo, I can stretch out again. So they still do squeeze a very tiny bit on my feet, but they are very comfortable, very well made. They will last you a lifetime probably. Let me know if you are pro or anti boat shoes. I feel like these are probably my least worn pair of shoes, but I do reach for them from time to time. And lastly, we have my Vivaya ballet flats. Unfortunately, I don't have my red pair anymore, and every time I go on their website, they're sold out. They're an almond toe style. I do like the black Mary Jane strap. I kind of broke my taboo of like, oh, you can't have strappy shoes, Alanna, because you're petite and they break up the lines of your legs and stuff. And I kind of DGAF anymore about whether it makes me look taller or whether it suits me or not. I just think it looks cute, and if it looks cute, then I'm going to wear it. If it makes me happy, I'm going to wear it. So I don't know why this outfit is reminding me of Rory's first day at Chiltern, when her mom drops her off and she's like, it's laundry day, and she's wearing the micro mini shorts and the like little cropped baby tee. This is a Lorelai Gilmore outfit. I can't remember what shoes she was wearing. I think it was boots, like cowboy boots or something. Mary Jane's. I wear these a lot. I wear them with midi skirts. I wear them with shorts. They're pretty comfortable. They're great runaround shoes. And the one downside of these is that you cannot wear them in the wet. So if it's wet, if it's raining at all, they will take on water. They are not waterproof at all, which I found out to my detriment when I was wearing them in Paris. Honorable mention to any kind of slides or mules that I can just throw on and go. I fell in love with this style of shoe when I was pregnant. No surprises there, because you can't kind of reach down and like Nobody wants to be going down there and faffing with shoes and putting on straps and things like that. So even like bending over can be really uncomfortable in the end stages of pregnancy. So I learned to really love shoes. These are literally full of sand. I learned to love shoes that you can literally slide on your feet and go without having to touch them at all. They are my favorite style of shoe, I do have to say, even though they don't always look the most elevated, the most stylish. I do still reach for them, especially when I am like just going to hang out with friends after kindy. Maybe we're going to hang out at the beach or something like that. Likewise with my Birkenstocks, I wouldn't necessarily call these like mainstays as far as like personal style necessarily, but I definitely would not wear them with this outfit. That's preposterous, but I feel a little bit like Shrek now. But I do wear these often, and so these are kind of like emergency shoes. If I can't find a pair of shoes, or if I'm late to go and do something, I will just chuck on these, and they typically go with everything because they kind of go with nothing. They're my garden shoes, my beach shoes, my runaround shoes. Don't get me wrong, I do love my Birkenstocks, and I do actually style them in outfits often as well, but I just find myself kind of reaching for them less and less as far as making outfits, and I kind of am trying to lean more into more intentional pairs of shoes, like my Anonymous Copenhagen ones, because these shoes make me feel some kind of way, like they make me feel kind of good in my outfit, versus my Birkies, which I do like them. They are casual, but I just feel like I'm slightly moving away from that level of casual in my wardrobe and just trying to have a tiny modicum more of an effort when it comes to my summer shoes. I had to chuck on my denim shirt so that I could feel like I'm Chessy in The Parent Trap. So perfect. This is a pretty typical outfit for me in summer if I'm just like literally like running. Imagine me running out the door to go and do something, go get my kids, or like maybe pick up something at the shop that I've forgotten, kind of run around errand kind of thing. Great for keeping me cool in the sunshine, and again those like lovely slip-on shoes that slip off also. I would love to know, what are your favorite shoes for summer? What do you crave wearing? What do you reach for all the time? And what do you feel like is missing in your wardrobe? I feel like I'm getting really close to having my shoes kind of like complete, if that is even a thing that can ever happen. Like I feel like I have enough to cover all of my bases, especially now that I have this pair of shoes, which is like a little bit more fancy dressy and casual, and I'm really looking forward to having a lot of fun with this pair of shoes as well. I feel like with those two, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's brought something full circle for me. I feel a little bit more complete in my summer shoes, as opposed to feeling scrambling like between something really fancy and something uber casual. The postman just arrived with my daughter's school bag. I'm so excited about this. Obviously, she picked out the print. I think context is very important when it comes to your wardrobe, and also when it comes to your shoes. So if you have the right kind of shoes to cover you in all of the context that you need, like when you're being fancy, when you're being casual, and everything in between, something that suits your lifestyle and suits your wardrobe and suits like, you know, all the in-betweens, all the practicality that you need from a pair of shoes. You know, you don't actually need that many, but you do need to have a few, because you need to be able to switch it out according to, you know, all the different needs that come upon us in the summertime. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so I look forward to chatting with you in the comments, and I'll talk to you really shortly in our next video together. Bye!